Right, we are into another street talk for the shortish week of the, what do we say, the 1st to the 4th of June. What is it? It's football tonight, isn't it? Is it? I think it's ladies' football tonight.
It's the main football.
I believe it is. But there is Coronation Street on Sunday, so look out for that, everybody.
Look out!
Don't forget. We'll be able to watch it nice and early on Sunday morning if I can get this one out of our pit. What? Can't give me a comeback, otherwise you'll just leave me feeling guilty. Oh God, I'm going to pay for that later. Right, what have we got to talk about this week in those four? Oh, got some clickbaits, Gemma. Do you want to start off with some clickbaits? Jonathan has sent us some.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Liverpool Echo. Coronation Street, Leanne's pregnancy sealed, but Idris isn't the baby father.
This is what are you doing?
I will give you a clue, Gemma. He already lives on the street.
Oh, she spoke to somebody.
She has had an
It's
interaction.
not Brady.
No, it's not Brody. She has had an interaction. In fact, we've discussed on the podcast before. Oh, what am I doing putting those two together? Is something going to be sparking
God, I
there?
don't know. You tell me.
Uncle Ryan Connor.
Oh, God,
do you remember they had that little maybe thing a month or so ago?
Look, Leanne, I give Leanne a lot of, what's the word? I try to be nice to Leanne. I really try, but she's been so smug. It's like nobody on planet Earth has ever had a shag before Leanne shagged Idris. This week, she's just so smug. Every scene she's like, "Hello, look at me, Leanne." Like,
well, it's probably nice for her to get
down.
a bit of excitement in the bedroom after all that time with Nick, who was probably very vanilla.
Well, let's not go there because I'm not interested in talking about
that. So apparently she's going to get pregnant. This is not a spoiler, by the way. It's fan speculation, as always. I don't imagine that Leanne's going to be welcoming any more children anytime soon. But hey, who knows? This is a soap.
I couldn't possibly say.
I've got 3 more from the Manchester Evening News now. So the first one, Gemma. Coronation Street fans fear what Idris Nazir is up to after rare scene. What was the rare scene that Idris was in this week?
He was in the corner shop?
No, although you're not a million miles away with that, and you're also right that the corner shop scenes are quite rare these days. Who was he having a sit with earlier this week?
Oh, he sat on the bench.
Yeah, he did sit on the bench. Who was he sitting next to? And this is quite a rare person to sit next to. They were telling him he was a really nice lad. And oh, aren't you handsome?
Oh, Rita!
Yeah.
Yeah, what the hell was that about?
He was having a sit with Rita.
I don't know, what's the name? Do you know the name of the actor?
I cannot remember.
We used to be up on all of their stuff, and then they started giving us 10 new characters a year, and it.
Well, not this year. Somebody was saying on our Facebook group, I think, the other week, like, who are we gonna say for some of our awards? Because we haven't had many new characters. We've not had
Malroy
any exits.
is going to win. It doesn't matter.
So this is the rare scene.
So whoever the actor is, whatever his name is, do you think he was like, right, I'm only going to be in Corrie if I get to have a scene with Rita?
Yeah, maybe.
And they were like, well, let's get on with it then.
This is it. Well, we got to get you. So he was sitting on Rita on Maxine's bench. Coronation Street fans fear what he's going to. Excuse me, I got hiccups.
He's going to steal
I'm hiccuping.
her dragon eggs.
Don't think she's got any dragon eggs.
Yeah, her money.
Oh, yes, her money.
Yeah.
He is going to be scamming her to high heaven anytime soon, so watch out, Rita. Which would be, a bit of a shame for Leanne as she found out that, because Leanne and Rita have been colleagues in the past. Leanne worked in the cabin about 25 years ago or so, and I think that would be quite an awkward situation were that to happen.
Who do you think she's going to leave her money to now that
Rita?
That Jenny's buggered off.
Still Jenny. And Sharon. I don't think that...
Neither of them are coming back, I don't reckon.
I don't think we're going to be seeing Jenny or Sharon again, but I think when Sharon left, she was in a little bit of a disgrace, but I don't think Rita completely washed her hands of her, if I remember correctly. But hey, maybe it's somebody else. Maybe she's just going to get herself a toy boy. I think that would be an excellent story for Rita, actually, if she starts dating, 25-year-old. Ah, yes! Rita and Idris! You're shipping them. What's the shipping name for them? Retris or Idra? I don't know.
No.
And then she can have another new surname because she's been keeping Tanner for quite a while now, hasn't she? Rita Nazir.
Rita Nazir. That sounds
like
a
showbiz name,
doesn't it?
There we go. Well, that's not what fans were fearing, that Rita was going to marry him.
Her nickname is Reet Nazit.
Right, second one from the Manchester Evening News. Coronation Street fans claim it's time as Daniel Osborne scenes spark same response.
He should stop being a teacher because he's not very good at it.
No.
He should leave the show.
No.
He should get a girlfriend to shut up moaning.
No.
He should stop being an idiot.
No.
Start push someone down the stairs.
No. You're thinking on the negative side.
He needs an award.
Yes, that's it. Not Daniel needing an award. Rob Mallard is well overdue a soap award, according to some fans on Facebook, which the MEN picked up this week.
Well, listen, he could be in the running for an Ecky Thump.
He could be getting an Ecky Thumper. Yes, after elbowing Ken this week. Yeah. He's poor old Ken, because it was just a few years ago that Peter punched Ken. Do you remember? It was on the 50th anniversary of Val's death, and Pete was going through a little bit of a booze problem, and he punched Ken.
Well,
I thought that was great. Sorry, Ken, I loved it. And apparently, William Roach was saying, I'm going to do my own stunts, so they didn't get fake Ken in to do it or anything. He's like, no, just... Come on, just do it.
How can you afford the insurance on that?
He probably didn't make contact, but Bill Roach literally did fall backwards onto that sofa. Good for him.
Can you imagine going on Compare the Meerkat for that insurance? Hello, what do you want to insure today? Well, I've got a very important soap legend. I need to collapse onto a sofa. What's the best insurance company for that?
I'm not really sure whether I want to do it, but I might get free cinema tickets if I get
Bad
insurance.
news is we had to spend 10 grand on that. The good news is 2-for-1 cinema tickets on Wednesdays.
So yes, Rob Mallard, I think he's been excellent this week. I'm starting to definitely feel a bit of Daniel fatigue. He's been quite the front and centre of the show the past 3-4 weeks.
You said that that Debbie saved the week, but I think it was Daniel.
Daniel has been superb this week. Rob Mallard has been brilliant, but I'm ready just to have a bit of a rest from him.
He's the splash picture for Coronation Street on ITVX at the moment, and whenever they have a new person on there, it always takes a while for it to become apparent what the heck they're doing and why they're there. I mean, I don't know why they don't just have Jodie for the whole year.
Yeah, because she is the face of Corrie,
people are starting to talk, aren't they?
People are starting to say, hang on a minute, she's the most featured character for the whole of this year so far. What's going on there?
And we don't know anything about her
at all. No,
what is she doing? Why is she doing it? What's the point of Jodie? I wish I was more intrigued. I really do wish I cared a bit more about this character, because she's got fumbled. So much potential for intrigue. But it's just too much, isn't it? It's like who phones social services? Who's
why is she stealing things? Why has she got a box? What's her deal with Daniel? What's her deal with David? What's her deal with her dad?
Why did she cut Bernie's face out? What's going on?
Why was she in a van?
What's she fancy David for? Who's Graham? What's the...
It's got. I can see. I can see when they were plotting it all together in the story writers' room, because there's some very clever folks in there going, "This is going to be brilliant. There's going to be so many mysteries around her. People are going to be wondering what's the deal with Jodie." But I got tired of wondering what's the deal with Jodie about 3 months ago.
It's just crazy. And also, at the end of it, what's going to be? It's not going to be one thing, is it? It's not going to be like, here's the explanation that
for everything.
It's not like.
She had a rough upbringing.
It's a magical island, like on Lost.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure. But Jodie does feature heavily yet again this week. Go for it, Olivia Frances-Brown. She's
get in there, girl.
Yeah, she's making more than we're making on our Conversation Street mugs, I tell you what.
She's not making £2 an episode.
She is not.
We are.
Last one from the Manchester Evening News. Coronation Street fans figure out what Sarah Platt knows in Gary Windass mystery. And I think this is definitely the biggest... Is it a big talking point? Lots of people are talking about this. I've not been on social media much to see, but... It seems like it's the thing that Coronation Street are wanting us to be wondering. And at the beginning I wasn't, and I was thinking, no, it's nothing, it's fine. But there's been enough in there now to make it very, very clear that Corrie is saying, hey, what do you think's going on here then? I'm not going to tell you yet. You have to wait a little bit longer. So what do you think first, Gemma? Coronation Street fans, according to the MEN Manchester Evening News, think that Sarah knows about the Gary Windass mystery.
What his birthmark is on his bum.
She probably does know that.
I think that they've been doing it.
Well, they were doing it years ago.
Now.
No, this isn't actually. I think the main thrust of the article.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't about any kind of thrusting that might have been going on between them. But no, any other clues?
That what he was doing. That he stole the phone. That he killed Theo.
Yes, yeah. People think that Sarah knows that Gary had Todd's phone. And why would Gary have had Todd's phone?
Oh, I worked this out the other day.
Did you? Did you put?
Well, it's something to do with taking... Yes, because Gary and Todd had a conversation and for some reason decided to record it. You know, like, you could have just gone round there and go, "Hey, mate, can you beat up Theo for me?" And he'd gone, "Yeah, no worries, I'll put it on my to-do list, but I'm going to burn the paper afterwards." No, they were like, "Let's formalise this agreement with a contract in text form." So the theory is that Gary took Todd's phone and deleted any kind of incriminating conversations between he and Todd.
Yes, that is exactly right.
But why bother when he sent the murder victim a text message going, "I'm coming to murder you"?
Exactly.
He's
exactly.
like Davina calling it, "I'm coming to get you."
Yeah.
Do not swear. We're live on ITVX.
It is exactly that. People are thinking that Gary took the SIM card out of Todd's phone. I don't know how he would have got Todd's phone apart.
Todd threw it.
No. He threw his watch. The phone this week.
Theo had his phone.
Yeah. Theo had his phone.
He left his phone.
Yeah. Todd left his phone in the flat and then this week thought, "Hang on a minute, why haven't the police given me my phone back?"
Yes.
But the police said, "We haven't got it."
Yes.
I didn't like that this week. I thought that it was a bit of a stretch of disbelief.
Why would you just
assume the police
that they
got
had your
phone
phone and not bring it up? And like, if Lisa had been told, "Can I have my phone?" Like, "You must have my phone," she would have gone, "No, we don't."
Well, she did say that this week.
No, but not like, this is very silly. There's no way any human being who lives in the society that we do in 2026 is like blasé about where the hell their phone is.
No self-respecting millennial is going to be going, "Oh, I'll get it back at some point. I won't mention it though."
I'll check my emails on my laptop.
Yeah. It's just... If I think all they had needed to do was put a few lines of dialogue in the past month or so with Todd saying, "Oh, it's really annoying not having my phone," or "No, don't text me because I haven't got my phone. Send it by snail mail."
It's just,
it
really
just
silly.
came out of nowhere and it made Todd look like an idiot.
Make them both look. It made Lisa look like an idiot as well.
It didn't make Lisa look
like because she was like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And I was like, "Why doesn't she know where the phone is?"
Well, it's not her. She doesn't know where the phone is because...
Yeah, but I didn't get that because the way he was talking about it, it's like she should know that she had his phone.
Right, okay. But no, it was just in a skip, so it was all right. It was very handy that it was recovered within days of him realising it was missing. And what a coincidence that it was one of the characters who found it.
I got really confused that when the guy came out, the police, the I don't know... fake Craig came out and went,
he definitely is a bit Craigish, isn't he?
That phone that you were asking me about. I'm like, what? They've had it all this time in a bag?
No,
but they hadn't. No, they hadn't. No. They'd just got it from a pawn shop.
Yes, which Sally definitely would never frequent.
Why on earth did... Okay, I'm leaving it.
I
Best
think...
character of the week, by the way, I'm just going to say right now, is D.I. Thompson.
D.I. Thompson, the new Costello replacement. You were a fan, were you?
Magnificent. She should be on Line of Duty. Is what she reminds me of. She's one of these ones who you think is actually bent, but she's not.
I don't think they'd go down that route.
No, on Line of Duty she would be.
Oh, okay.
Everyone was bent on Line of Duty.
I think if you were I don't know who hires the detective inspectors at Weatherfield, Nick, but they'd have to be really, really careful with their background check because they don't want another Costello situation, do they? They get a bit of egg on their face there. Anyway,
it's more exciting.
And with that big sigh, we will move on to discussing what happened on Monday to Thursday's Coronation
I'm just
Street
obsessed with D.I. Thompson. It's like,
I don't know why, I'm not at all.
Why on earth did we need a new character? I can't believe what are we doing? What are we doing here? Well, because we've killed one of them, and we've the other one's left in disgrace, and Coronation Street's gone, Oh, well, no, we can't have that. We need to replace
But
them.
this is like what we were talking about in the Nazirs on our bonus podcast this week, weren't we? Oh, Aggie's gone, we've got to fill that slot. Or
Bailey's.
Bailey's. Dee Dee's gone, got to get in James. Yeah, we've got to have a certain number of police characters on the street at once. That's why they're given, this PC, what's his name, a promotion to speaking part.
Why not silent partner? Because he's great.
A silent partner will never speak.
Okay.
I was going to say like Dirk, but Dirk has had the odd line here and there,
Yeah.
hasn't he? Right, I haven't even got any new storyline titles this week, Gemma. I've been particularly uncreative and just stolen a few old ones and kept some ones that we've been using recently. So I want to start off with the Dantagonised story, Daniel Osborne's just meltdown that he's had this week, quite frankly. And then we're going to talk about Jodie and what's been going on with Jodie and David, the Twisted Sister Mr. Kister storyline. Remember that one from a month or so ago. Theo later perpetrator, still what I'm carrying on with the Theo murder mystery. And then we've also got Anazia, which is the Idris. Terrible storyline title. There was a tiny bit of dementia and an even smaller bit of creepy copper on Thursday's episode. Gemma, I will take the hit and synopsise the Jodie story if you would like to take over the lovely Daniel Osborne, the lovely but troubled Daniel Osborne, and remind us what he's been getting up to in the last week.
Okay. Yeah, so
back to school on Monday, isn't he, like me?
Yeah.
Except I had an inset day. For some reason, in Weatherfield, they have an inset day on Tuesday. I don't know whether schools do that. I've never known of an inset day to be on a Tuesday. Come back after half term for one day and then you're not there the day after that.
Mrs. Crawshaw's just like, you know what?
No, it wasn't Crawshaw. This was at Bessie Street that had their inset day on a bizarre day of the week.
Well, he's supposed to be going to school for the first time since he's left. The last time he went. And he spills coffee all over his shirt. Oh. And Jodie's like, oh, let me help you. I'll take Bertie to school. And he says, oh, everyone's going to be talking about me. And Jodie says, they're idiots.
Well, is he talking about us there? Because we're talking about him right now.
Oh, I definitely am an idiot. Bertie brings Daniel a mug and it says world's best teacher, which I feel is a pointed comment on his dadding.
Yeah.
He took it as a compliment, but I wouldn't.
That's true, actually. Can you imagine him there in Clinton's cars going, do I get the world's best teacher or the world's best dad?
I mean, in theory, he could be the world's best teacher, but I wouldn't know. I haven't seen him at work, so I'm going to have to get him...
And Daniel resisted the urge.
I know he's not the world's best dad, though, so it's, that one is teacher.
Daniel resisted the urge to say, oh, what, you got a cupboard full of these, Bertie, but thanks.
Bertie, did you get this out of the cupboard, you little git?
I don't know whether... I imagine secondary school teachers don't get as many world's best teachers mug as us primary lot do. Not because they're not the world's best teachers.
I'm going to tell you, Michael, you haven't really had that many world's best teacher mugs recently. I think you might be slipping.
You're right, actually, I haven't. Oh, although, I will say, I haven't told you this, one of the girls in my class did give me a birthday present this week because she thought my birthday was the 2nd of June and not the 2nd of July.
Oh.
And I was like, and it was in a kind of a mug-shaped box. So I said, do you want me to open it now? And she said, no, keep it for a month. So for the next month, I'm going to be having this birthday present on my classroom shelf. And I'll get to
Mysterious.
open it. I know, it is. So I don't know whether it's I'm going to say a mug. That's my prediction.
Well, it better not be world's best dad.
Come back for episode... come back for episode 740 of the podcast to find out what it was.
I like the way you got in when your birthday is and it's coming up.
Just in case, we've got any listeners that want to celebrate my 43rd birthday in a month's time.
Yeah,
It's happening.
It's
happening. And you don't even need to post the present. You can come along to the walk for Webster that we'll be doing the following weekend.
Yeah, you can bring it then.
Give it to me in person.
Why not buy him a Bangin' Brew enamel mug?
Yeah, because that's the one the general wants.
Yeah, that's what you're getting off me.
Anyway, what did Daniel get up to at school?
Well, first of all, he goes to the shop.
Oh, yes,
and
he
Brian's
does.
there talking about how kids can be cruel, and he's really on edge. And Bethany's like, you seem a bit, a bit fragile.
Like you're not quite ready to go back.
Maybe
yet,
you shouldn't
Daniel.
go to school. And he's like, shut up, I'm fine.
I really want to teach.
So he goes into school.
I hear there's a new Shakespeare out that I need to analyse.
So he goes to school and he's in the corridor because there's just a corridor. The school is a corridor.
No, there is also an outside of a humanities department, isn't there? Which I said we might be expecting to see this week.
With a buddy bench.
Yes. No, this is outside because this is Jake and Lily being a bit unkind. I know they're only little, but God, they were horrible, weren't they?
I can't believe the back chat here.
I know. Like, this episode, it was almost like a bit of a role reversal between Hope and Lily, because when Daniel has his bit of a breakdown, Hope is really, really nice to him, isn't she? And she's usually supposed to be the cowy one. And I'm sure that when, old Lily, before she was recast last year, she was pretty nice, wasn't she? But she was a proper mean girl. She's a real mean girl.
She
was horrible.
She is.
And Jake, I expect that of him because we've known for a few years that they were going to make him into a bit of a git. But
look, children are just experiencing the world.
That really rolled me up their behaviour, actually.
So they were being very rude and they didn't get detention. And they're also talking about this Truth Teller 2.0, who's the new troll in town, and he doesn't know who this is. It doesn't seem to be Jodie. He just barks at them.
He doesn't even know that number one is Jodie at the moment,
does he? At the moment. He barks at them to get to class, and they're all, like, smirking. At lunchtime, he has... This is where it all goes wrong, because he's in the hallway, and Lily bumps into him, knocks his bag, and he breaks the mug inside his bag.
Oh, yes.
The best teacher in the world mug. Do not bring best teacher in the world mug to school because you will lose it.
I was going to say, like, it's you take it in to brag. Like, I could have kept this at home, but
I don't know if you guys have seen this.
Sitting in the staff room and check this out.
All the other teachers are like, whoa, what the hell?
Read it and weep, other teachers.
Well, I might as well just give up. Daniel, put that when Ofsted come, put that out.
Yeah. We do know, of course, that currently Daniel is the only member of staff that we've seen in that school, so that's probably why he's able to get away with it.
Probably.
He's running it single-handedly. We haven't seen Mrs. Crawshaw since last summer, I'm sure.
No,
but I tell you what, we are getting worryingly close to the 1 year anniversary of the last time we saw Dr. Gaddis.
I was going to say, where's Dr. Gaddis? Yeah. Because in my head, I know this is not true, but they are married.
Yeah, that's our little...
That's my
head canon, isn't it? I kept meaning to email Christine Mackie, who plays Gaddis, saying, please say we're going to see you again, but I don't want to be let down by her answer, no.
I know. I feel like we jinxed it.
It's like Curry saying,
celebrated.
You don't like medical storylines, do you? Okay, well, if we're not going to do medical storylines, then it just means you can't have Dr. Gaddis, I'm afraid.
Would you rather...
I feel like we made that happen.
We ended up in a situation where Weatherfield Hospital was like the police station, and we knew, like, here's the evil head doctor, and here's the...
Yeah, there aren't any, and I don't think there's, apart from when there was Marcus, I suppose, there haven't really been any long-term...
Aggie.
Oh, Aggie as well, I suppose, yeah.
Dr. Matt.
Dr. Matt was at the medical centre. Oh. Both of them were at the medical centre. I don't mind to see as much as Dr. Gaddis as you like. I don't particularly have a problem with Malady storylines that only involve a trip to the medical centre. It's the hospital storylines that I've got a problem with because they're a lot more serious and depressing.
The medical centre's like, look, you've got cancer, but it's like one of the fun ones. And we just chop it off.
Or, just go there because you've got a sprained ankle or something. That's fine.
Your ankle's got cancer, so you're going to have to go to the general. Sorry about that.
Anyway, sorry.
So the mug gets smashed. Again. Everybody's kind of filming him as he dissolves onto the floor and crying, saying it's broken, everything's broken.
I know where you can get a replacement mug, Daniel. Maybe it doesn't say world's best teacher, but it's got Conversation Street logo on, so that's just as good.
We should do one that says this teacher is banging, and then we can sell it to people for the new term.
We could design a mug that's got world's best teacher on and some little crack lines on, and like it can be Daniel's actual mug that we've pieced together.
We could have world's best teacher, and the other side is not Daniel Osborne, and then also Brian, whatever his face is,
Brian Packer.
Yeah.
World's best teacher was Ken Barlow.
Yeah. Yeah. Look.
He punched a child.
Look, we're not going to get into what that makes him because some people say hero.
Don't punch children. We've
no,
had Ken Barlow punch a child. Don State was a murderer.
Yeah.
Daniel Osborne has pushed a child down the stairs. Megan was
a paedophile.
Brian
Brian's the
only good teacher to come out of
all he did was projectile vomit over the first and second row of the nativity play audience.
Yeah, and who hasn't done that? Yeah, Coronation Street teachers.
We've said this before.
Wow.
They're terrible. They're a terrible bunch of people.
Charlotte Hoyle, of course, Bunny Boiler.
Yeah, and murdering accomplice.
Murderous accomplice, yeah. Poor Colin Fishwick, he died before he had a chance to do anything, didn't he? Yeah.
Well, that's what you got to be a victim or a perpetrator if you want to be in Coronation Street.
Sorry, I keep distracting you with.
He's crying. Lily's trying to apologise, and she's panicking. Actually, you can see the fear in her eyes. Like, what have I done? I didn't expect this to happen. And out, it's like a battlefield. Everybody parts ways, and hope comes sailing through.
This was a superb performance from Rob Mallard. He was excellent. He just looked totally drained. He was his kind of clawing at his face. He was having, it looked like, a proper mental breakdown here. What people were saying earlier about, give him all the awards. Yeah, he was superb. And I've always thought that Rob Mallard has been brilliant. And it is, as much as I've been a little bit, the story's gone on a little bit long, and it's not been too long, but I'm a bit Daniel'd out at the moment. This was fantastic. It also reminds me, he was in, I think it was The Mirror. He did an interview this week, Rob, when he was talking about his essential tremor, which is something that he said, a few years ago, 5-6 years ago. He revealed, I don't know if that's the right word. He said that he's got a condition called an essential tremor, which causes him to shake a little bit, and it's getting worse, and it will get worse. And he was talking about, maybe Daniel will have to get this as well at some point,
right? That makes sense,
because it might be more difficult to hide.
Yeah,
but yeah, he absolutely superb performance. Well done, Mr. Mallard.
He's shaking, as we said, and it's not a secondary school until one of the teachers has a nervous breakdown. So Hope's trying to reassure him, telling everyone else they're losers. She puts her hand on his to comfort him, and he grips it tightly before realising that this is probably not a good idea, because they're all still filming and watching. He stands up, thanks her, and walks off.
I thought that... I wondered whether Hope was actually Truth Teller 2.0, and she was doing that as a bit of a...
I don't trust her.
I think I maybe called... Because the last time we saw Hope with Daniel, that was when he pinched her book, and then she got Tyrone to have a go at him.
Yeah.
And it could well be, because I don't think that Hope really is nasty deep down. I think that she sometimes likes to show off a little bit. I think that
children can be
she lets
very
her mouth run away with her
without realising what they're doing.
I honestly do think that there's a good little kid inside Hope, but she sometimes can't always regulate herself.
She hasn't got good impulse control.
No, exactly.
Which is what makes a good soap character.
Yeah.
But I genuinely think that it's her that's Truth Teller 2.0. Anyway, so he
we'll have to see. I can't remember whether the comments stopped, because you'd have thought that if it was her, she would have stopped after that.
I think she is perfectly capable of sort of comforting you and then going home and writing an horrible comment.
You said as you were watching it, Daniel can't go back to work there again.
In real life, you would never go back to that school. How would you get the respect of the students back?
I think it'd be really, really tough. In an ideal world, the students would get it, and I think even maybe in a primary school, it'd be fine to go back, and some of the children would go, I think they'd be nicer. I think they'd be more caring. But yeah, being around a lot of horrible teenagers in Weatherfield High, who they'd been kind of cruel to his face before he even had the breakdown. I think it would be
they smell blood
impossible.
In the water.
I think it'd be just impossible to go back, but you can't. I don't know how it would work. I think Ola would probably say, no, it's going to be fine. You come back, Mr. Osborne's going to be back, but you'd be thinking it all the time, wouldn't you?
You wouldn't believe he used to teach in a prison, would you?
Yeah, I know, that's true.
So, he turns up at the pub asking for a whiskey, and he doesn't want to talk to anybody. And Brian and Adam have seen a video of him having a meltdown because it's gone viral.
Of course it has.
And Adam's trying to stop him from drinking, and Daniel ignores him, knocks it back, asks for another one. Sean refuses, and so Daniel staggers off to go find another pub and ends up at the precinct where he sees Megan, and he goes and confronts her. And she's telling him to leave her alone, but he grabs her by the back of the head and is like, "You ruined my life."
This was a bit like that scene a few weeks ago where he pushed her up against the wall in the Barlow's house. He could be. He's
actually assaulted her several times.
Yeah, and she didn't do anything on Monday to you might
provoke him.
Yeah, she didn't provoke him in any way. Not that reaction would have been appropriate. Whatever she had said, I would say.
Oh, but there we go.
That Daniel, like, he's such a great character because he just does the wrong thing.
I know.
But
it's funny.
It's so in character for him.
I know, he's got
I love him for
a loose grasp on sanity.
I feel so like he's got serious problems, but he's, you don't look at him as this is a character with a mental health storyline, even though it's kind of what this is.
This is a perfectly reasonable reaction. Like, if I wish that. Yeah, this is like what you're being pushed to limits beyond any reasonable human would be expected to deal with here.
But Daniel has clearly in the past had problems controlling his temper, and he had a difficult childhood himself. And I think lots of people, when Daniel acts like this, they kind of are less understanding of that, and they say he should be able to control himself. He shouldn't react like this. He needs to blah blah blah. And I think that there's some characters that that viewers are more inclined to say no. Honestly, he's got mental health problems. You can't blame him for that. I think that people are more likely to pile on Daniel. Do you think? Or say, why has he done that?
People don't have sympathy for Daniel.
I don't think people have sympathy for Daniel. I think people, from reactions that I've seen, not all of them, but people are saying no, he shouldn't. He needs to get a grip. He needs to sort himself out. He should be fired. Whereas other characters, we've seen sometimes a little bit more sympathy for them when they have issues like this. I know what you're
saying.
My
so
take.
She's trying to escape, but he's scragging her about, going, "You ruined my life." Luckily, Adam just so happens to be walking around the corner and breaks it up so Megan can escape.
I think that's all we saw of her this week, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Because...
We've seen very little of Megan since, it
doesn't really make sense that she's still in the show.
Well, they're just waiting for the trial, aren't they? But whenever that's going to be.
Yeah, I guess so. Because they have said that they're going to do a trial, haven't they? Have they?
Well, I mean, you can assume that there's going to... She's been... Yeah, she was in prison and she's been let out on remand, but she's not been... Or bail,
bail.
On bail. They haven't said...
When the trial is.
No, they haven't said when there's a trial, but
Normally, you only...
There's got to be a trial, of course.
You don't... Well, anyway, okay.
They haven't said, there you go, you can go free. We let you off now because you're beautiful and blonde.
Yeah. So, just don't get near Daniel because he'd beat you up. Adam brings Daniel back home and Jodie's there, tells Jodie what's gone on, and Daniel says, "Everyone thinks I'm like Megan. I don't want to wake up in the morning."
Drama queen, Daniel.
I know.
I'm just not allowed to say that.
On Tuesday, it's inset day for Bertie, and Daniel's like, "Well, I'm not going back. I can't go back to school." Jodie says, "You know what? You shouldn't. You're in such a bad state that challenging truth teller to meet up wasn't a good idea." And Daniel's like, what are you talking about? How do you know about that? This didn't work for me. This was not convincing at all. This felt like it came out of nowhere.
It definitely felt like it came out of nowhere. Like with a big revelation like this, I mean, it wasn't we knew it was Jodie, but this is a sort of thing that you might expect to be revealed like just before an advert break or at the end of an episode. And having it revealed within the first few scenes on Tuesday's episode, it caught me a bit off guard. So I liked it for that, but I think you said that that there wasn't a big enough reaction to it, right? Is that your problem?
It just felt underwhelming because he worked it out too quickly, and it's so frustrating. It must be really hard to put a story like this together, because when a character doesn't work something out, everyone's like, "Oh, you're so dumb, it's thick, oh, it's so obvious." But then when they do it really lightning,
killed Theo.
When they do it really quick, you're like, how did he work it out so fast? But really, it was obvious, because he says, "I DM'd this person to challenge them." So the only way you would know that happened is if it was you this whole time.
I quite liked how it came out quickly, I think.
Well, this is the trouble about having half-hour episodes every day, is that you can't dwell on stuff. You got to get it done.
Yeah, I think maybe my problem with it a little bit more has been that since everybody now knows, because later on he goes to the pub, doesn't he, to broadcast it to the world. Everybody knows that Jodie has been this massive troll. Nobody really cares.
No, this is weird.
Nobody's
this
shunning
doesn't really
her.
make any sense. Really, she could deny it's her and make him look like even more of a crazy loon than he already does.
I think
she's trying to, but because she's such... A lot of people don't even know her either. So they're like, I don't care if you did it, I guess. I don't know. It does seem... To me, it just seemed remarkable that nobody cares. Anyway, I'd find this incredible. I'd be talking about this all week.
You'd love a gossip. This is when we need Norris back on the show.
I know. I think we do need a gossip back.
There's nobody.
Well, there's a few like Glenda. You know, some Debbie.
It's not the same.
Some people gossip, but there's no dedicated, professional.
Yeah, no proper nose, ear to the ground.
Yeah,
twitchy the curtains kind of person. I mean. Not even Evelyn was that kind of character, was she?
No, we need somebody.
She could have been.
Right, so...
I think Maggie could be that sort of character. Or does she care enough about other people's... I think it's too late that she's not that kind of character, but yeah, we need a gossip. So,
Jodie says, no, it was a lucky guess. I just imagined that would be the next logical step. And Daniel's like, no way. She's saying, you're paranoid. He's not having any of it. Yells at her. She cries and admits it. And says, I'm sorry, I wasn't thinking. And then he's like, you put Bertie in danger. And she says, I was doing it because I wanted to live with you for longer. But I swear, truth teller 2 is nothing to do with me. And he just orders her out. Yeah, Jodie fessing up so early. I think that partly shows that she does have a little bit of conscience in there. No! Because she could... She was just crying to try and get him to feel sorry for her. She could have just denied and denied and denied, couldn't she? There was no reason why she had to admit that. And I think that she is... Again, who knows what Jodie wants at this point? But it feels like she's not faking that she likes him and she's enjoyed living with him. So... Yeah, I think that there was a little bit of a twang of guilt there, which is why she's not guilty. She's just annoyed that she lost what she'd created. I think that she's a bit guilty. You're so much nicer person than I am. I know. So what can I do? So Daniel goes to the pub and he's drunk and tearing up beer mats, which, he could get money for those off eBay, and he's going to need it soon if he's not going to be a teacher. I think that Coronation Street is in danger of overusing character gets really drunk. I think that's a normal reaction to things. But this week we had Daniel. Last week we had Will up on the scaffolding. The week before that we had Sarah Louise getting drunk in the Rovers. Yeah. And they had these big scenes of, hey, look, this character's having a problem and they're just using drink to try and drown their sorrows. It's like, what's the weekly drunk scene going to be? And none of them are really funny comedy drunk, are they? So I think they need to try and tone down that and show that there are other options available. I'm going to start gambling. So Adam sees him and so sits with him. Jodie comes in. Jodie comes in. Judy. And then Judy Mallet comes in. Daniel makes a big show of announcing to everybody that she's truth teller. Rita's in there and she tries to tell him to go home and he gives her a thumbs down, which I thought was hilarious. Oh yeah, he did, didn't he? That was funny. Jodie tries to tell everybody that he's lying and she'd never do that and gets really upset and leaves. And Daniel ends up retreating back to the flat. Kirk brings Bertie with him and Daniel's on the sofa with his eyes closed. Yeah, because Kirk had taken Bertie out and now he's returned him to Daniel, who's feeling sorry for himself and is probably hungover or still drunk. And Bertie's like, I'm hungry, I want something to eat, but Daniel doesn't get up. And so Bertie's like, I'm going to microwave tinfoil. I didn't see what it was that he put in there. No. But something was clearly metallic. So it starts sparking and he's like, how do I solve this problem? I'll just escape. So he runs out of the flat and leaves the door open. So he runs out the flat, runs down to Coronation Street, gets to number 1, and he cheerfully tells Tracy and Adam that the microwave's exploding and his dad might be dead. And so Adam's like, we'll better hurry up and check. So he goes in and sees Daniel's unconscious on the sofa. The fire alarm is beeping. There's smoke everywhere. He checks the microwave. Nothing is immediately going to explode.
No flames, because Corrie doesn't have a flame budget at the moment, we know from the cafe fire.
This was like an even more pathetic, like, fake fire thing.
I mean, at least with Roy's fake fire, where they bothered to knock up his bedroom set, didn't
well,
they?
They also like gone, oh no, there's fire everywhere. But this one's like, oh no, it's just smoke.
No, I think that this one was better because this one didn't claim that there was fire. The Roy's one was talking about what a blazing inferno that there was. We just couldn't want to
see
show
it. It's invisible.
Didn't want to show it.
It's so hot you can't see it. So the fire alarm's beeping. Adam can't get Daniel to wake up, so he turns the fire alarm off and just leaves him to it.
Leaves him to stew in the smoke.
He opens the window, leaves the door open, and just buggers off.
Yeah.
And it's really confusing because I couldn't quite work out if it was the following day. But it was. So Wednesday's episode starts with Daniel doing the most theatrical checking of his watch I've ever seen on this show. It was absolutely fantastic. And to watch it a couple of times, it was magnificent.
If you were kind of like me, only half watching Coronation Street, well, my excuse is that I'm making notes. What's yours? But Daniel, because I didn't see this, Jem was like, you got to rewind this. This is the most hilarious thing ever. And it's difficult to describe it really by the medium of podcast.
It was like his watch was possessed by a demon or something, because it kind of like went up in the air and it just kind of like appeared in front of his face.
It kind of it snapped back.
It was like it possessed his arm.
Massively theatrical time check.
Yeah, and he's like, "What? We're late! Oh my goodness, Bertie, we've got to get ready. We've got to go. It's 9:00. But what's this? Bertie's not there."
This was what was your take on Adam and Tracy?
You know what my take was.
But our listeners don't. They might think that you thought it was brilliant.
The reason why I got confused about this was because a whole night has passed, but Ken doesn't seem to have realised that Bertie's been at his house.
No,
unless Adam took him to his house, which I guess was kind of insinuated by Alia, saying this was a bad idea. But literally, Alia is. I mean, Adam and Tracy are Barlows, so you can't trust them. But Alia should not have gone along with this. She's absolutely cracked.
I know, Miss High and Mighty. Look at my morals, Alia.
So what they did was took Bertie out of the house and just kept him until Daniel woke up, and then didn't tell him where he was. Let Daniel think that his child had been abducted or gone missing, and he's running around the streets going, "Bertie, Bertie, where's Bertie?"
I know that I sometimes need to, in these situations, I need to replace the child with a cat to really understand the gravity of it. But even this, don't even need feline intervention. I can see that this would have been absolutely terrifying.
This would have made you feel sick.
It would have. Yeah, and again, Rob, brilliant performance of utter dread and panic as he's pelting around the street going, "Bertie, Bertie."
They kind of like make out that he didn't call the police because he knew that he was in the wrong because he was drunk, and so he didn't want to draw attention to himself. But I would have phoned the police immediately.
Well, you got to walk down Coronation Street. Not going to take you long before a police officer's walking around the corner anyway, so he's just like, I'll save time by shouting outside of Lisa's house, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, he was fantastic. But what a cruel trick.
Tracy's,
I see the logic behind it.
It's Adam's idea. Tracy's not really keen on it, but she's letting it. She's loving the drama anyway. And Adam's like, yeah, Daniel deserves a shock. This might bring him to his senses. Cassie's horrible. Cassie thinks this is cruel, but she's not getting involved. Daniel runs down the street calling for Bertie, runs into Ken and says, "Where have you got Bertie? Is he at your house?" And Ken's like, "You smell, number one."
"Stink of booze, Daniel."
"And we don't have him." And Daniel's like, "Oh no," and he runs off again.
The jaw drop of Daniel when Ken's like, "No, we've not seen him."
So it was...
Because that would be your one and only thought. He must be there.
And also, but the logistics of Adam and Alia taking in Bertie overnight is just stupid, isn't it?
Why?
Where are they going to put this child? They don't have anything for him. He's hungry. They're going to have to feed him his dinner. They have to make him go to bed. And Bertie's not asking for his dad this whole time. This doesn't make any sense. He's never gone...
Can you imagine them saying, "Uncle Adam, when can I go back to Dad?" "Oh, be quiet, Bertie. We're playing a trick on him. It's really funny."
Yeah, it's going to be really funny when he finds out. Like... he's never stayed at Uncle Adam's house.
He might have done.
I don't believe that for a minute.
Oh, I do.
No way. I'm sorry, but
he goes and stays over at Ken sometimes.
The idea that there's anything child friendly in that house, and that Bertie's just like, okay, they don't even have pajamas for him. How is that responsible? They're not being responsible at all. But they don't even have a spare room for him. Here you go, sleep on the sofa like your dad. Get used to it. Anyway, so Daniel's just despairing, running through the precinct, calling for his kid. Nobody's that interested. If you saw somebody calling for their kid, wouldn't you be like, oh my God, do you need help?
Yeah.
So he bumps into Tracy and just tells her, oh, I don't know where Bertie is. And he turns around and Tracy does this evil grin, like she's enjoying him being upset. And she tells him that it's good he's being accountable. And he's like, look, I need help. And then she reveals that she knows what's going on and everything to do with the microwave and that Bertie's missing. So she tells him where Bertie is. So after the break, Daniel's hugging Bertie at number 1, going to knock Adam's block off. Adam says, you deserve it. And Daniel says, well, I'm going to report you to the police. And Adam says, yeah, me too.
Daniel was clearly being a bit neglectful from what he did with Bertie. You can't do that if you're looking after a child, because they're not a cat.
Well, so you're not looking after a child, you're their parent.
Yes.
You're not babysitting Daniel.
No, but as I said, I do have a lot of sympathy for the stress that he's going under at the moment.
A real nice, a proper family would be like, he's clearly struggling. He needs help. I'm going to take him. I'm going to leave a note here. Say, Bertie's with me. Don't worry. I'm going to make sure that the flat is safe and there's no fire and smoke.
I would think...
why you got on? And like, Tracy's like, yeah.
I would think and
How
hope
did
that
Ken find this out?
Yeah, well, maybe they had to keep it from
And
him because
Alia's
they were like,
like,
Ken wouldn't understand the joke. He's so boring.
Alia's like, look, I can only be mad about one thing, and at the moment it's law and injustice.
No, I'm mad about the moment is that Idris is going out with Leanne.
Oh God!
But yeah, she totally should have said something.
They're all
here,
awful.
as should Ken. To be honest, I think that I wouldn't say that this is even in the character of Adam and Tracy to do this.
No,
not even Tracy, bitch of Weatherfield, because this is family. And I don't think she would. I think it's too cruel even for her.
Equally, can I just say, maybe for like 5 minutes, if you were outside with the kid and he came running out,
yeah, maybe, but overnight,
the other thing to consider is that Daniel may very well have choked on his own vomit in this time.
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
so comatose. He anything could have happened to him.
And Bertie's not gone into school, so
yes,
school's probably ringing up Daniel.
Adam's decided not to send him into school. Also, what would Adam have done if Daniel had woken up at 2:00 in the morning and started screaming and hollering down the street looking for the kid? Is he going to get Bertie out of bed at 2:00 in the morning?
I think if Daniel probably would have run there in the middle of the night, banging on the door.
But why would you go to Adam's house?
Woken up, I don't know.
Why would you go to Adam's house to look for your kid?
Well, no, I thought he was at Ken's. I don't know.
He can't be at Ken's because Ken didn't know what was going on. This is what I'm saying to you. Why did Adam and Alia take him in overnight? It's absolutely stupid and cracked.
Yeah, despite all of that, I'm gonna say it was worth it.
I just like the argument.
The theatrical watch checking. For running through the precinct, for running down
Tracy
the street, Tracy smirking, the jaw drop moment. So yeah,
Alia just like trying to maintain some semblance of moral superiority by continually saying, "I told you this was a bad idea. I said we shouldn't do it." Look, that's what the Nazis said, Alia. Ken gets home and sees everybody is having this fight. And Daniel's still fuming about this, and Adam points out something which is quite a good point, which is that when Sinead died, Daniel told Bertie that it was her falling asleep. And so what would have happened if Bertie had come and seen that Daniel was unconscious and couldn't wake up again? He'd think that he was dead. And Daniel just it doesn't know how to react to this, so he says, Punch time! Draws his arm back to punch Adam in the face, but instead elbows Ken in the nose.
Actually, this is what made it most worthwhile.
Yeah.
Wednesday was my favourite episode of the week.
But the Barlows don't very often get a chance to have big fights. But when they do, I think they're even better than the Platts.
They are pretty good. I mean, Ken being involved in a punch-up is just kind of classic Corrie tradition at this point. And, Mike Baldwin's been dead 20 years by now. So it's nice that he can still get a bit of action in. It's great.
So he sort of collapses and, the fallout is that Daniel's trying to apologise, but Ken's not having it. And he goes, just go and grow up. Do you think you'll be able to manage that? And gets him to kick him out. And they're going to bring Bertie round later.
I thought that was a good performance from Will because Will Roach, as I call him,
Billiam Roach.
But because he was angry at him, but then he kind of calmed down and said, "Look, just go home, sleep it off." So we showed that I'm your dad and I'm quite cross with you actually, but I'm not going to stay mad at you. I just want you to go home and sort yourself out. He wasn't holding a grudge or anything like that.
No, but this is really interesting because obviously Ken's holding his family together at the moment. What will happen if Ken's not around anymore?
Well, luckily that's not going to happen, Gemma. So,
I just think it's really interesting that they all kind of put their sanity in his hands. And he's the only one that stops them all going completely mad. Yeah. You'd think that of all of them, Adam's the one who's the least likely to do anything insane. Because he's just quite dull and the worst thing he does is kind of like takes the side of somebody who's secretly stolen 5 meters of their neighbour's garden in a boundary dispute.
Well, he has defended a number of people.
Yeah,
that are morally grey.
Yeah, but what is this that you've done now? This is just mad. So
I think they just made him do it because they thought this is going to get a good reaction. I really don't think Adam
there's only so much
this.
I can really accept just totally outrageous, illogical things, though. Can't keep having it happen. So on Thursday, Ken's still like, you guys are dumb. This is stupid. Why did you do this? And they're not sure what they're supposed to do about Daniel because he's just spiralling. So Daniel goes to the cafe and Kirk has a go at him for neglecting Bertie. And if everyone's forgotten, he is Bertie's uncle.
Is he?
Well, because Sinead was Beth's niece. He's related.
Oh yes.
Sinead is Beth's niece.
I had forgotten that.
Exactly, that's why I thought I'd bring it up. And Kirk and Beth were married at some point. And Fake married at another point. So that's why he took Bertie out and stuff. So he's mad at him. And then Alia's like, sorry about that. If I was Kirk, I'd be mad at Alia too. Daniel's not in the mood for any of this and says, you're going to regret it if you try and kidnap my child again. So that's told her, isn't it? Daniel tries to huff past the florist, but Tracy catches him and says, look, Ken's worried about you. Go and see him, put his mind at rest. So he agrees to go around there. But when he gets there, it's like an intervention because Adam and Tracy are also there. And he tries to kick them all out. And Ken says, nope, you're sitting down and listening because you've not been yourself recently. And after yesterday, you're lucky that we're not having this conversation around a hospital bed, says Tracy. So they all lay into him. And then Daniel's like, right, I'm going to punch you again, Adam. And Tracy's like, what, you idiot? Calls him an idiot. And so Daniel storms off again. So that didn't go very well at all. And Tracy lets herself into his flat later and says, I know what Adam did was wrong.
Yeah, that was good, wasn't it? She tries to put it all on Daniel and he's like, I thought it was your idea. I can't remember, honestly. Well, you said earlier that it was Adam's idea, but I can't remember.
It's just really stupid no matter what way you slice it. The phone rings and it's Children's Services.
Oh, CRS.
So he has to take this phone call and then the next time we see him, he marches into the pub going, I've been on the bloody phone, the social services, all bloody afternoon, going on about stuff. And who is it that phoned them up? I've got to do all these home visits and red tapes and assessments and everything now. You've caused so much drama for me. Who was it? And he accuses everybody one by one of doing it, including Kirk and Alia. And he's going, he's my son, he's my son. And it was funny watching Sean standing behind him listening to this, because Sean has also had his my son moment.
When Dylan was driven away as a baby.
Don't know who did it better, but I think they were both pretty good performances.
Yeah, Sean was there just rating him, wasn't he?
He's like,
So,
and he's like, one of you's trying to take him away from me. So he's got completely paranoid at this point. Quite fairly, I think, that somebody he knows has done this. Now, I think he should know them well enough to know that if he accused them and they had done it, they would admit it at this point. I think it's Jodie that's done this. Who do you think it is?
my initial thought was Cassie, because she was suspiciously absent on the last episode, and she did seem... I know she didn't want to be really involved in it, but she was definitely very protective of Ken, and thought, well, Ken wouldn't have been bopped on the nose if Daniel hadn't been a bad dad.
Well, she could also go. You could also write her as saying, you know, I wasn't fit to look after my son either. I recognise it in you.
Cassie, who's... Oh, yeah, Tyrone.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, maybe. I think that after murder, who phoned the social services is probably one of Corrie's most frequently used whodunits.
We are going to make a mug about that.
What?
Who phoned social services? We have a little logo of a phone with a big question mark next to it.
Yeah, I can't remember many examples. I know that Gail phoned them on Sarah and Todd once when they were looking after Bethany in the flat above the florist.
I mean, this is the biggest mystery that's hit the Barlow clan since Who Pushed Ken.
Yeah. Not quite as interesting, I'm going to say. So are you still... Why do you say Jodie?
Because she is a meddler, isn't she? And she's malicious.
I suppose she's also a bit hurt and
yeah, she's had her nose put out of joint
after
here.
what we're about to say happened. So it could be. I mean, I think I'm not particularly bothered about who phoned the social services on Daniel.
It's bizarre that it's a mystery, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just a manufactured mystery, isn't it? We're going to find out on Monday.
Yeah,
probably.
we're going to find out on Monday. Right?
It's
no,
like
Sunday.
It's like whose fingerprints are on the mobile phone? As Brody.
Yeah. I'm not particularly bothered. Like I said, I'm ready for this story to have a little bit of a break.
I'm surprised you're saying that, because in the grand scheme of Coronation Street drawn out storylines currently, this is fresh and new.
Well, maybe it's because it's Jodie, and you know I've cherry picked all of the Jodie bits, most of the Jodie bits out of that, because she goes on to stuff with David later in the week. Maybe it's Jodie I'm fed up of seeing.
I could watch Daniel have a rampage.
They can't just keep giving him reasons to have meltdowns, and I think if he kept having them, they'd feel less special somehow.
I just want him to do something completely mad, because we've seen him do worse than what he's done. All he did was get drunk and fall asleep. Like, he's pushed people downstairs, he's stolen.
He's elbowed Ken in the nose.
Well, okay,
week.
but he's tried to kill people before.
I don't want to see him because, as I say, I feel protective for him. I need somebody to help calm him down and work his way through these. Just get Centoya in and give him a bit of counselling or something. I don't know. Anyway, that was quite entertaining this week.
Do you get the feeling that slowly everybody on Coronation Street is slowly becoming either a Barlow or a Platt?
Oh yeah.
Because I was thinking, Toya wouldn't have anything to do with that, because she's definitely firmly in the Platt camp at the moment, and so is Jodie. Yes. Jodie's like going between them.
Jodie does go between them. I mean, we've wondered about when they're going to have this epic war of the families, haven't we? Platts versus Barlows, and maybe Jodie is the catalyst for that finally happening.
Well, now Gail's not in the show anymore. It's not going to be as fun to have a big old Barlow Platt.
Let's wait till Audrey gets back at least. Okay, speaking of Jodie, let's see what else she's been getting up to when she hasn't been being truth teller. Well,
there's a bit of Shona's. I've seen a lot of people complaining about Shona online and saying that she's being horrible to David.
She's just stressed out because her daughter's been in hospital.
She's like, my kid
nearly 6 months,
being really boring, and she's not in it. And I thought I was having a baby story, and I'm just having a hospital visiting story.
It's all just they're sowing seeds for Jodie to weasel her way back into David's life, and if she plays her cards right, his bed, isn't she? Because Monday's just got her shown her saying, "Oh, David, yeah, I'm the only one that goes to visit Harper. You don't care anything about."
They haven't said anything about this, but I think it would be worth repeating for us viewers that since David had his epileptic fit, he can't drive, and so the burden of having to drive. The burden of having to drive to the hospital.
Oh, yes.
And be the one that has to go. And even if David can't go by himself, you've got to always be going. It must be really tiring.
Yeah. Anyway.
God only knows how Lauren got there.
David's in Shona's bad book still on Tuesday's episode as well, isn't he? So then Jodie comes round, and this is after the whole Daniel debacle the previous day. And David kind of picks up on the fact that she's had a row with him, with Daniel. And she then picks up that things aren't very good between him and Shona. I don't know why David even lets her in, you know?
Yeah, I know. Didn't she get kicked out? I can't remember now.
Well, I think Shona kind of believes that maybe
it was a misunderstanding.
Maybe it was a misunderstanding. Yeah, I think that's her stance at the moment. David knows it wasn't, although as the week progressed this week, he got less sure of that, didn't he? He's starting to think, oh, maybe I did, because she gets her poison in. But I don't know.
I would never be alone with this woman again.
No, totally. She starts saying, "Oh yeah, so you knew that it wasn't Shona in that bed. You knew it was me. You said my name, David. You might not remember, but you sure as hell said it." And that was funny because I wonder whether Sarah's going to come to the rescue at this point, because after the whole mistaken identity thing happened, they went down to the lounge, didn't they, and made a joke about the fact that David said, "You smell like a sexy sweet shop," and she. I can't remember. Was it? Oh, B that.
He definitely thought it was Shona.
Yeah, no, you're right actually, because he said at the time, I went, "Oh, Jodie," and she said at the time, you said, "Oh, Jodie." Is that right?
I don't remember, but Sarah definitely takes his side, and at no point did Jodie say, "No, you said mine." Oh, I don't know. Doesn't really matter. I don't really care.
I don't know. But David at this point is also not having any of it and says, "Look, when did I say your name?" And she says, "Look, you got into bed. You said I smelled lovely. You said my name."
And then you freaked out.
Jumped out of bed, ran downstairs, and David starts to think that maybe he believes her. And I just thought that was a bit too plot convenient. Because he was very, very sure at the time. Although I guess, since sobering up, maybe some of those memories have become less firm, less clear in his mind. He doesn't remember it quite so well.
You should really rely on the fact that you didn't ever want to kiss Jodie.
Well, yeah, because he didn't.
Like, deep in my heart, I know that even if you think I said that, I didn't. Even if I did say it, I don't want to sleep with you, so it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
It's not like I was drunk and my hidden secret desires came to the surface. I'm not interested in you.
And Jodie's saying, "Look, don't worry. I'm not going to tell anybody. I shouldn't have even told you." And then she gets up and leaves.
I like the way that Jodie's acting like a victim here and sad about all the chaos that she's been sowing.
Yeah, I know. We see Shona having a bit of a sad sit on the bench outside the hospital later, don't we? And then Gemma is there as well because
she's gone to take Aled to have a hearing
thing.
Yeah, appointment.
Yeah, and so she goes and has a sit down next to her, and Shona says, "Oh, I've had a row with David. This whole situation is bringing out the worst in me," and Gemma tries to cheer her up, and it seems to do the job because Shona comes home later, apologises to David for being a bit ratty with them. And then they end up having a nice snuggle on the sofa, which, as you know, listeners, I always enjoy a lovely, cuddly David and Shona scene because I think they're great.
But Jodie ruins it.
Oh, yeah, she comes back in, doesn't she?
She goes, "Oh, sorry I've ruined your night, but Daniel's had a meltdown. Can I stay here?" Yeah,
and David's like, "No," but Shona obviously allows it because she just wants everything to be blissfully peaceful between them.
And instead of having a lovely hug with David, Shona gives Jodie a hug.
Oh yes, Jodie comes and sits down in between
David's
them, doesn't
like,
she?
"What's going on here? I was thought I was in."
I thought I was, yeah. That wasn't a promise there. Thank you very much, Jodie. But honestly, if I was David, I'd be a bit more insistent that she buggered right off at this point.
I know.
It's so difficult because, you know, she is her sister, and Shona probably does feel an awful lot of guilt about abandoning her. And
well, also, this is a couple that have had their, you know, their ups and downs, and you know, you've had David slept with Gemma.
Yes.
And Jodie, Shona slept with Kit.
Yeah.
So
David kissed Zelina that one time. He made a play at Maria, as gets brought up in another good scene of the week on Wednesday.
And Emma.
Oh yeah, Emma as well.
So
he's definitely got a wandering tongue, hasn't he?
So, but Shona's just mad on Wednesday that Daniel had to go. David.
Yeah. No.
She's upset for Jodie.
Sorry. Yeah. No.
Shona on Wednesday.
Shona has heard that Daniel's had a go at Jodie over the whole truth teller thing, and Jodie's like, yeah, look, he's in a really dark place at the moment. But then she inadvertently upsets Shona. Oh my God, this is happening again. Shona, by talking about how Lily is learning about normal children in school
and development.
Not that you'd know anything about that, Shona, eh? Your weird abnormal hospital baby.
Yeah, she takes it a bit personally.
That's how Shona takes it.
I think it's really important to teach the children of Coronation Street about what normal people are like, because they're never going to meet one in their whole lives.
That's true. There's probably a whole unit of lessons about how the normies live outside Weatherfield.
It's like medical people learning about muggles.
All these people that don't live in crime-ridden
children.
Plague pits.
You might not know this, but most people don't just live and work in the same within the same 50 metres. Some people have to go out to work in other places.
Yeah, well, Idris is learning this week, isn't he? I think Roy says to Idris at one point, oh yes, we're very tight-knit, our little community.
Yeah, watch your back.
It's like a cult, isn't it?
It is a bit like a cult.
It's like Midsummer or something.
Who's going to get
but with
sewn
even
into
more
a bear
murder.
suit? Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, Shona talks to Maria about David just being a bit restless in bed at night, tossing and turning and stuff, and acting a bit weird. And Maria says, oh yeah, Gary's not been sleeping well recently either. That little bit should probably come in the other storyline with the Todd. But little seed sown there. Mary says maybe they've got guilty consciences then.
Well, they're both men, so yes.
So this led to a lovely scene between David and Maria, and those two actors go back, 25 odd years, don't they? And they've got such brilliant chemistry, Jack P. Shepherd and Samuel Longchambon.
Yeah, because there was a time when Tina O'Brien was not, wasn't in the show, and she came back with Bethany. Yeah. And you had Maria and David have a very sibling-like relationship. Yes. Because the character of David works really well in that kind of squabbling relationship with anybody. His character just works, and Jack P. Shepherd's really good at portraying that kind of like infantile, cheeky, silly kind of
and David person. And Maria are the couple that nobody ever wants to happen.
No.
But it's always fun when David forgets that sometimes.
This
is what they're having a joke about.
It's like brother and sister, but they're not related, so what could happen?
Yeah. They're totally brilliant platonic friends. But Maria's kind of saying, well, you have made passes at me a few times, so maybe you did about Jodie. Maybe you did with Jodie. And they kind of say, well, look, maybe Jodie's telling the truth, but he says, no,
I'm not sure though.
He says he definitely didn't, but he's not 100% convinced. But yeah, that was a great little scene though. I enjoyed that immensely. So Shona sits David down in the cafe later and tells him that this remark that Jodie made earlier about abnormal child development or whatever really got to her. And she says, just give me some gossip or something to cheer me up, but ain't got none to give her. So David tells Jodie towards the end of the episode that she and him need a talk. He reckons Daniel might have been right about her being a dangerous liar. This is what he was saying about the truth teller thing. And he says, look, actually, I think you're lying about a lot of things. Jodie tells him not to push her, because if you do, I could land you in a whole universe of trouble. So she's made some threats there. It's kind of the saying, yes, I am a villain, what are you going to do about it, wahaha.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, basically. And unfortunately, because of this this kind of natural wedge that's developed between Shona and David because of Harper and the stress that causes and the isolation that Shona feels, it's going to be much easier for Jodie to convince David of her truth than the other way around. Yeah. Really, David just needs to get her out, but she's not. As long as Jodie keeps telling Shona, I don't have anywhere else to go, I don't see how they're going to get rid of her. He
needs to catch her in the act doing something, doesn't he? And she's, as we said, featured so much in the show at the moment. It's not going to be too long before she does,
get
make
caught in a lie.
I mean, she gets
caught,
move.
But she gets caught in lies all the time. She gets found out. Lily found her box. Daniel found out that she was truth teller. David knows she's lying about.
I wonder whether
the night.
I'd really like David to go and find their dad, Mr. Ramsey, and then get the goss from him about what sort of daughter.
Well, we still don't know what's gone. Like Olivia and her dad just disappeared in a puff of smoke with the two blokes.
Yeah, that's true.
What happened to them? I can't even remember what happened. But they weren't doing a very good job of maintaining pressure on Jodie, were they? What were they mad at her about? Where's Graham?
The USB stick, Gemma. It's all about the USB stick.
She gave it back.
I think they got it back, and that's why they've gone off.
So David needs to find this moving company and go, what the hell happened?
Yeah.
That would be an interesting. I mean, how interesting? I'm not sure, but
he could just, next episode, he could discover her box, and then that's could be game over for her there, couldn't it?
And has everybody worked out that she was lying about being abused? Or
I don't think so.
She's just tiresome, isn't she?
Yeah.
I wish I knew what she was. I wish I liked her more, because I don't know what her point is. Like, I really like female villains, but they've always had her aims are too diffuse.
Yeah, like with Maya Sharma, you knew what she was after. Yeah. She was after Dev.
She switches from one thing to another when it doesn't work out, and I guess that could work. But it's not working for this character because she's focused on David, now she's focused on Daniel, now she's back to David again.
Yeah, she just had a month little holiday with Daniel, didn't she?
Like she just wants somewhere to live. She's like a hermit crab if it was a psychotic liar.
Yeah.
Who lived with you.
The thing is that I don't see them easing off on Jodie. I said when I made my predictions at the beginning of the year, I said I thought that Jodie would be in the top 10.
Jodie.
And I stand by that. I think that we are going to be seeing an awful lot more Jodie as we go into the second half of 2026.
Jodie is the heat pump of 2026.
She is a little bit, isn't she? I don't want to talk about Jodie anymore, quite frankly.
I wish I was more positive about Jodie. I still feel she's got potential. I just need to know what she's up to. She needs a little confidant. I mean, Lily was the closest we got, and now she's madder as well. Right, anyway, let's talk about the Theo murder.
Yes.
Because we still haven't solved that crime.
Miles. As the weeks go on, I'm less and less sure.
Me too.
I think this is what Coronation Street want. They want me to finally admit, okay, you know what, it's not Miles. I jumped the gun again, and then they say, it was Miles. You should have stuck to your convictions.
And Danielle, as well, has slipped out of the radar.
Oh yeah, it's just
Coronation Street
drip feeding us this murder storyline.
What Coronation Street does, feels like sometimes, is the marketing and the story aren't in sync enough, because we had the whole here are the suspects for the murder. These it felt like that was made up after they'd already done the plot. It feels like it should go hand in hand, because it feels like there should be pictures of all these people on Lisa's whiteboard. You know what I mean? It feels like it's not been formalised in the show, but the marketing has told us. If you weren't on Twitter, you wouldn't really go, the 5 main suspects are...
No, not necessarily.
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't have an idea who's supposed to be in the frame for this.
I think it was funny that we said that on the lead up to the murder, it felt like they were dragging some stories out because they all had to converge on the 23rd of April. Well, there's no deadline for this, is there?
This is what I've said.
Why are they taking so long with it?
This is the same problem with Jodie's storyline, that we don't know what her point is. We don't know where the end game. What's the end game? What's this leading to?
Have we been spoiled by having a flash forward and now we need them every time so we know when things end?
It's not like there's a desperate deadline, is there? There's no deadline or urgency built into this. It's just Lisa and Kit bumbling around going, oh, do you think done it then? I don't know. It was summer probably. Yeah, I guess we don't need to worry about it anymore.
I want to have a look at like how many separate stories have there been this year, because it feels like there have been fewer.
Yeah, I know.
By this stage in the year, we should be able to reel off a whole load of stories that Corrie's had. And in my head, and I know I'm going to be missing a load here, it's like, you got Debbie and Carl.
Yeah.
You got the murder.
Yeah.
You got
Jodie. Whatever's going on with
Jodie.
Whatever's going on with Sam.
Yeah, whatever's going on with Sam, which is still linked to the grooming. I suppose that's the other one, isn't it? This year has been grooming, murder, and Platt stuff. And I don't know, it just feels like there hasn't been as much variety as you would want to have. But sometimes, you know, you can sometimes moan about Coronation Street. It doesn't join things up, and as much as it makes the notes difficult, like, you know, Jodie appearing in 2 stories, it kind of does merge and flow over each other nicely sometimes. But and you don't want things to feel like this is a story that the Baileys are having and it's not affecting anybody else on the street. Yeah, I don't know, it feels like not enough stories, and the stories that they're having are just slowly spinning their wheels a little bit.
And it's just mystery upon mystery, isn't there? Like, whose fingerprints? Who's phone social services? What was Gary and Sarah doing? Who killed Theo?
Who did
Too many mysterious.
What's that? Well, should we have a...
Yes, I'll tell you.
Talk about this Monday's episode?
Well, Monday's episode starts with Todd and Sarah, and they've done this a lot, more than they ever have done, where they talk about Billy.
Baby Billy.
And it really only feels as though this has happened since Todd got with Theo, as a way of maintaining a relationship with Sarah to remind us that they go back so far. And Sarah's kind of maintaining that she has always felt sad on this date for 22 years, which I don't believe for a minute.
I haven't seen the evidence of that, Sarah Louise.
But okay. And they're very sad about this. And it's not the first time they've spoken about baby Billy. And so you get Lisa and Carla walk past and they, you know, oh, what's wrong with you? And they're like, but a dead baby, is that all right with you? And she's like, oh, that reminds me of Connie. Do you remember Connie? I don't. Anyway.
Yeah, she's dead to me now.
So Lisa says, by the way, that dash cam footage from Danielle proves she wasn't anywhere near the place when Theo was killed. So back to the drawing board. I don't know why they're still investigating this, because I don't think this happens in real life. I think once the police think they know who did it, they don't care anymore about any more evidence. But she's still trying. We still don't know what happened with Christina fully, do we? No. What was Christina up to? Who was on the phone? Who was she on the phone to? There's only so many mysteries I can care about because I forget about them. Yeah, that's the thing. When Christina and George come back into it, it's going to be like, what was going on there again? And Carl has just come back in the show, and we were reminded that nobody cares that he got crushed by a car by some mysterious person that we now know was Tyrone, and Ronnie knows about it as well. Yeah, and also Tyrone's Carl's incredibly very quiet, isn't he? Incurious about who it was that did it, and not asking the police to find it out. Sarah doesn't know who bonked her on the head, and she's not that bothered about it. Kit's like, yeah, well, you know what, some crimes you just can't solve. So anyway, Ronnie sees Tyrone in the street and is like, look, you need to shut up about the fact that you crushed Carl with a car. We're all right as long as you keep your bloody mouth shut. David sees Sarah in the street and invites her in for a cup of tea and wants to talk to her because they haven't had a chat for ages. And she just can't wait to get away because she is like, oh, I'm traumatised from being hit on the head. Do you remember? I need some quiet time because I want to think about Billy. Suspicious behaviour. I think that I would be sad in January when Billy died, Vic at Billy, because it reminded me of my dead Billy, and I'd be thinking about it then as well. Anyway, Carl and Ronnie are in the hotel, and Carl's goading him. It feels like Carl knows what's happened, and he's just using it to tease them. I can't remember. Well, he's like, you and Tyrone were very cosy. I thought last week that he overheard exactly what happened, but he says in Monday's episode this week, I'll find out what you're hiding, I'm good like that. Doesn't he want to know who crushed him? Do you not think it's probably Abby, Kevin or Tyrone?
Well, he was goading them in the pub last week, wasn't
And
he?
wouldn't you say, hey, Lisa, Kit, have you any CCTV footage of me being dropped off at the hospital like Sophie Fatale? No?
There is CCTV at the garage, isn't there? I mean,
Yes, that's how Max got caught.
Yeah.
They're like, look,
That
we
makes
assume...
sense.
Lisa's like, we're just going to assume that Gary deleted that as well. So... Todd visits Summer, who's still not taking it well. She's been locked up, feeling very hopeless. And Todd says, I'm trying to get Tyrone to admit that he saw you and Theo and that Theo was still alive when you left him, but I'm not getting anywhere. And she says to him, well, Adam's starting to tell me that I need to plead guilty to manslaughter because if I don't and I get found guilty, I'm going to be in there forever. So...
Todd goes back to the pub and mentions this, doesn't he? Which Carl takes as an opportunity to
tell Tyrone he looks guilty.
Yeah.
And says, I'll find out what you're hiding. Todd goes round to number 6 and Lisa and Carla's house and says, Summer's innocent. I want my phone back. And Lisa says, what do you mean your phone? I haven't got your phone in evidence. But I'll look into it. And he's like, well, what have you been doing? And he says she sucks at her job and stuff.
Tell you what, he's lost his Duolingo streak now, hasn't he?
Why? Oh, yeah. That would be my problem. And also my Pikmin. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
I'm not getting my steps because Theo stole my watch as well. So Todd leaves and Lisa tells Carla, I also love that Lisa's now inherited Craig's. I'm going to tell you everything I shouldn't be telling you. Both Kit and Lisa.
Yeah, they both have been
go, look,
verbal diarrhea this week.
What happens is their partner says, hey, can you tell me about the case? And they go, no, of course I can't talk about that. But come here. Lisa tells Carla that no phone was recovered that night. And then we get a flashback of nobody, because it's just us watching something we hadn't seen before. Nobody's remembering this.
Well, it's whoever.
It's the show telling us that
it's whoever the gloves belong
somebody
to.
in black gloves has a phone we
Richard
assume
Hillman.
is Todd's, and they're taking out the SIM card. And it looked like manly hands, but other than that, I'm not sure. Don't recognise these gloves.
Yes. So people have said maybe it was Gary. People have said maybe like Brody was a suspect because he has his actual
We find out
fingerprints on the phone
eventually
later,
that he
doesn't
had the phone.
Yeah.
I don't really care. I wondered if it was...
just
Some
another...
people thought it was Theo.
I'm thinking, is this an angle that's going to lead us towards guessing the right thing? Or is this just another...
Red
we're just
herring.
going to lead you round and round in circles. We're going to take you on a massive detour. And it's actually, the phone is absolutely nothing to do with the murder. But it kept you busy for a little bit until we decide we want to reveal who the murderer is. So I was reluctant to get really, really invested in this.
Do you think that soaps just can't ever do a murder mystery?
No. I'm sure
Do you think they'll ever do... Have they ever done a good one?
I think Who Shot Phil is generally considered
I'm talking
a
about
good
Coronation Street. Who Shot Mr. Burns was good as well, but that's got nothing to do with Coronation
This
Street.
is true. I don't know. I mean, Who Pushed Ken wasn't a murder, but that's my
That's the
favourite
best
one.
they've ever done, in my opinion. Maybe we should do a Patreon.
We did.
How many murder mysteries have there ever been?
We did a
Did we?
a bonus podcast about whodunits just a couple of years ago. Yeah.
Well,
Go and find it, everybody.
well, nobody learned any lessons from that, did they? Right, so on Tuesday, Lisa's in the factory with Carla just telling her again about Theo Thompson's getting up my bloody tits. We got she wants it closed because we've got Summer in the slammer. But then she tells Carla later on, I've done a bit of digging and found out that Todd's phone was turned on and pinged off a local mast, which might prove Summer was innocent, which makes no sense to me, and I still don't know why. Why does that got anything to do with Summer? It doesn't, does it? It literally has. Someone tell us. We asked people
on our short
Tuesday,
to explain to that, and usually when we ask
anything?
questions like that on Please Explain to This on the short, people do. I don't know whether it's because I'm not particularly interested in it, so I can't.
Well, you said to me, what does it mean?
Power or interest to connect the dots.
You said to me, what does it mean when a phone pings off a mast? And I'm like, somebody didn't listen to Serial, the famous murder podcast that made everybody listen to podcasts.
So because his phone was somewhere in the vicinity, it means...
It doesn't mean anything.
I don't think it does.
It doesn't prove anything to do with Summer because they think they've got Summer tied up with it because of the blood on her brooch.
So why does the fact that Todd has a missing phone
Somebody needs to explain this to me.
What does that even have to do with the murder?
The last time Todd had his phone, it was in the flat. He was going back to the flat to get it so he could leave Theo. And then he ran into Theo.
Oh, yeah,
and then Theo chased him all over the place. And Todd threw his watch away so that he wouldn't be traced. And that was it.
Okay,
and then the last
tell
time...
us the answer now, Corey.
The last time we saw Todd, he was hiding in a ginnel. And the last time we saw Theo, was dead on the floor.
Mm.
But what that has got to do with Todd's phone is relevant because it was later found in a skip. So, of course, it pinged off the mast.
The fact that the phone was removed from the flat means that somebody, and we don't know who, must have been in that flat.
Yes. Well, we don't know where Todd actually left his phone. He assumed he left it in the flat. It could have fallen out of his pocket.
Yeah. But I think that's what they're going for. And maybe that means it might not be summer because... I don't know.
So Todd's phone was turned on and pinged off. I mean, it's going to have to... It doesn't really make sense because that mast would be in the vicinity of the flat. I don't know. The phone went from the flat to the skip.
It might have been on a magical mystery tour of Weatherfield.
Well, what mast did it ping off of? She said local. I can't imagine there's more than one phone mast in that area, that space.
Mm.
Look.
I don't know.
Look. I don't know.
I don't bloody know.
Nobody could make a award-winning serial-esque podcast about the murder of Theo Silverton.
No, that's for true.
Wednesday, this PC brings Todd's phone to Lisa because it was pawned a few days after Theo's murder, and she says, "Great, get it to forensics." They're not very bothered about solving crimes in forensics, but get it to them anyway.
This kind of bookended the episode, didn't it? I think the first scene on Wednesday was him saying, "Hey, we found a phone," and the last scene was getting the results from the forensics.
Yeah, so they go. He says, "We've got a match on the fingerprints already," and Lisa's like, "Oh!"
And we find out on Thursday who it was.
I knew that this had to be a criminal. Because the only way they'd have your fingerprints is if you'd been arrested.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, is it Gary? Because Gary's definitely got his fingerprints. Everyone's been arrested on Coronation Street, so it doesn't really narrow it down.
Has Brody in the past? Am I forgetting something?
He was a criminal, didn't he?
Oh yes, of course.
He was in prison.
He was in prison. That was what I was saying. He was a horrible git when he first started. Yeah, he's been behind bars. You're right.
So Thursday, the Metcalfs are trying to have a nice family breakfast. And Shoney and Groening are nowhere to be seen. When Brody gets arrested by Lisa on suspicion of theft. And, Sally's aghast at this because she was like, "Hey, Lisa, come in." She's like, "I'm not Lisa, I'm DS Connoisseur."
Sally was probably my second favourite scene of the week. It was another so-so week, but Daniel going mad, Glenda and Debbie, and then Sally... in the interview were just absolute gold.
Who would have thought that Sally would be as funny in a police interview as she was during a dinner party? So, they can't believe it. In the salon, it's Bethany's birthday and everyone's making fun of Sarah for not remembering. But then Gary comes in and says, "I can't believe you're making fun of somebody who's had a head injury."
And I've only kind of put this bit in this story because we're assuming that Gary and Sarah have... Well, they're under suspicion. Well, they were at some point under suspicion. Gary was of Theo's murder.
Gary's like somebody in our YouTube and podcast comment section going, "I can't believe you're making light of this very serious situation that has happened to real people."
Yeah, and then when Gary leaves, everybody else kind of gives us something, kind of the side eye going, what's
that about?
Yeah.
So, Kit's back, everybody. If you were worried about his Welsh secondment, it is finished. Mm-hmm. And D.I. Thompson's there saying...
Have you bought a sticker rock? Or do you get leeks back from Wales?
No, lava bread. So D.I. Thompson's there, and she's sitting and giving Lisa evils, talking about the fact that Brody's been arrested. And it's because Todd's phone had his fingerprints all over it. So what do they think happened then? They think that Brody broke in to Todd and Theo's flat, pushed Theo off the side of the building, hit him with a scaffolding pole, took the mobile phone to the pawn shop in the crime of the century.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's what they think happened.
I suppose so. It's an interesting angle to include Brody in this because he's barely been in the show at all this year, has he? He's been keeping his keeping on the down low.
Yeah.
So,
but now he's involved with Idris. He's going to be in the show more,
Oh, yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of Brody over the next few months.
So, yeah, Todd's phone had his fingerprints all over it, and Kit's like, there must be some mistake. And Dea Thompson says, Kit, you're his dad. You're too involved. We need to get somebody impartial, like his next-door neighbour, Lisa, to interview him. So she can handle this one. So in the interview, Brody tells Lisa, so you've got Brody, you've got Sally, his responsible adult, and then you've got Lisa, and I forgot somebody else is in there.
This was so funny. And it's ridiculous, it's farcical, because in no situation would the appropriate adult in a child's police interview be the next door neighbour of the person that was interviewing. But because they had somehow made this work and just say, look, just go with it, Corrie fans. We got some funny lines to come up here. And it really was. Sally was great.
Yeah, Sally's
interrupting and saying, well, Brody says this, but actually...
Yeah, she keeps chipping in. And Brody's saying, look, I found the phone in a skip and I sold it. And she keeps going on. And then Lisa says to her, listen, Sally, do you not understand what I told you about being a responsible adult? And then Sally's like, well, I couldn't really understand a word he was saying, so I'd had to chat GPT it. So it was just, she's just sniping. And Brody says, okay, what happened was I was supposed to be babysitting the girls, like Sally said. And Lisa says, well, actually, we've got dash cam footage of you on Coronation Street and the kids aren't anywhere around you. Why? Okay, Lisa. This happened on the night of the murder. Why haven't you looked at all the CCTV footage of everybody on Coronation Street? Because then you'd see Gary walking around, you'd see Summer walking around, you'd see Tyrone walking around, you'd see Ronnie putting Carl in a car.
Yeah.
You'd see everybody wandering around all over the place.
Just so happened that they were able to catch Brody.
They only saw Brody. We've just got the CCTV footage of the end of the street where the kebab shop is.
And they're still not shown the ring doorbell footage.
Doesn't Lisa have a ring doorbell?
No, I don't think.
Sally got one, didn't she?
I don't think so. I don't remember. But yeah, Theo and Todd's doorbell footage is surely the solution to everything. And the longer they leave it, the more ridiculous it's going to be when somebody says, oh yeah,
why don't they just...
check? I thought that this is what was going to come out of discovering Todd's phone.
I know.
Like, get Todd's phone. Oh, we just had a look at it. Oh, let's have a look at his doorbell footage. It gets deleted after a month.
Even that would be feeble-minded because they would see there was a ring doorbell on the outside of the house and go,
It's totally feeble-minded, but the fact that they had a whole episode based around, oh, look at all the cameras there are. Back in November or December, whenever it was. And now sorry.
And nobody, like, Lisa and Carla were standing on the balcony of the factory. They weren't filming, taking photos. There's no incriminating evidence. Even Sally and Tim got a photo of Gary in the background, looking dodgy.
How long they were supposed to have been up on the...
They didn't see anything. You know, they're as high as Theo would have been when he did a swan dive.
We did get an actual time.
Oh no, they were inside, weren't they? They were inside when Betsy found. Yeah, we still don't know when Theo was killed.
No, but we know what time they were having the fireworks because they made a big thing of saying fireworks are out.
And nobody filmed the fireworks.
Yeah. There's a load of holes in this, aren't there? Can't believe it.
How did this happen? They knew they were going to do a murder mystery.
Most viewers are just like, go.
This is why you solve it immediately, because we just pick it to pieces, don't we?
Yeah.
Like a bunch of crabs. So, he explains that what happened was Joni stole a bottle of Sally's wine, got sick, so he went and got a kebab.
Mm-hmm.
And Chesney can confirm this. And Sally's like, what? Oh my goodness me. So Lisa's like, my hands are tied. It's clear what's happened here.
And lets them go.
Yeah, so we still don't know how Todd's phone got into the skip.
No.
And that somehow proves Summer didn't do it.
Maybe.
No,
it could. I think they're saying it could prove she didn't do it if we can figure out who put the phone in the skip. I think that's all it was.
Yeah, okay, we got a bit closer into working it out now, haven't we? We do need things to be spelled out. I know we're acting like we're so smart, but we're not really.
So this phone, how much of the CCTV footage did Gary delete? Because he deleted the picture of the video of him smashing up Theo's van, didn't he?
Yeah.
Did he also delete the footage of potentially him or somebody?
He deleted the whole day.
Was it? Okay.
The whole day.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, but that is a point actually.
Well, the forensics can't recover it, Gemma. They've tried really hard.
They're like,
so
it's
can't
like
go
that day
down
never
route.
happened. I'm starting to wonder. It's like that time in the Roman Empire where they got rid of a whole month. Anyway, so they come out the interview. Sally fills Tim in on it, what happened. Brody's not bothered because he knows he didn't do anything. Sally's mad. Dion Thompson's not happy about it. Lost their lead again. And she says the phone was in a skip outside the Windass yard. Could this mean something?
Yeah, I think Lisa was saying, well, would it be Gary? Would he literally throw away the evidence in his own skip? Not really sure that he would.
And then Joe Thompson's like, that's the kind of thing I would assume that they would think, so I would put it in my skip. And then Lisa goes, yeah, this doesn't
There's
help.
some perfectly good bins in the precinct that they could have used for that.
Maybe I'm a bit more interested now I've worked out why the phone means anything, but
Okay.
I was just sitting there going, I don't know what's going on here. The Platts gather in the bistro, and Jodie talks. See, I'm just going to defend myself here because in a real murder mystery or a documentary about true crime, all of this would actually be meaningful in some way. Whereas in Coronation Street, they put stuff in that doesn't mean anything all the time, and when you actually work it out, it doesn't actually logically make any sense. So I'm quite happy to disregard something completely, thinking it's a mistake when it actually is supposed to be a plot point.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Platts gather in the bistro for Bethany's very special birthday celebration. And Jodie just comes in and says, hello, I'm joining in this because I've got some gossip for everybody. Daniel's gone mad. He's firing accusations at everybody, including me. Thinks that I'm truth teller, but I'm not. And then Sarah gets suspicious when Jodie mentions that Kit and Lisa are going through a load of the wedding footage. And she makes her excuses and leaves. Now, she would have been a guest at the wedding.
Yeah, she was.
Because she's,
We saw her there.
I know, I'm just pointing it out to people.
She's worried.
So there's going to be a bit where she's not there.
There's going to be a bit where she's not there or...
Something happens to make her look suspicious.
Well, I can't remember whether they said it was wedding footage or just footage from around the area on the night when the murder happened. I mean, you would have thought that she would have guessed that might happen, so she'd be worried already. But yeah, she's clearly got up to something, hasn't she? And it's got to be with Gary. Her and Gary are having some sort of secret. We saw Sarah on the phone to Gary last week. She had that secret phone call that Jodie interrupted. I just hate the idea that it might be an affair.
Do you think it's going to be some kind of hilarious bait and switch where it's like, I'm helping Gary to...
The surprise birthday party for Maria.
I'm helping him learn how to recycle. He always gets confused about whether something's glass or plastic.
And you can't ask Maria because she bangs on about the environment so much.
It's a surprise for Maria.
Oh, okay.
She'll go downstairs one day and he'll be there going, look at me, I'm putting a tea bag into the
food waste
food waste bin. She'll be like, what?
Yeah, that's it. I think I would actually hate if they were having an affair. But what's the alternative that we're supposed to be considering at this point is that they somehow were murdering Theo together. And I still don't really understand the timeline of when exactly she got bonked on the head.
No, yeah.
But I just can't see a universe where either Sarah or Gary were responsible for Theo's death. I just don't see it because they're the good guys.
No. Gary's killed before.
And I don't see them leaving.
And also Theo's a baddie. Theo's a baddie and he deserved it, and both Sarah and Gary had really strong motives.
And they have had blood on their hands before and still survived.
Yeah, exactly. Sarah was there when somebody got murdered and buried under the bloody annex. And Gary's killed Rick Neelan.
Yeah. Oh, I don't like that. What would you rather it was, affair or murder?
How are they going to get away with it? Because we've been saying all along, this is silly because they're not going to sacrifice. It's not going to be a main character because they would not be able to get away with it. Mm. But could Gary and Sarah get away with it? How would we find out it was them?
Flashback, of course.
But how? No, but what prompts that? Who's gonna be the one that finds out that isn't Sarah and Gary? And how are they going to keep it a secret? And what's going to happen to Summer? Is Summer going to go down for something she didn't do? No, she can't do. So what's going to happen? How? It is possible that Coronation Street could find a way of getting them out of this pickle and getting Summer out of the pickle, but how? I'd be quite happy to see how they did it. If Sarah and Gary turned out to have killed Theo, I think it was quite funny, as long as they got away with it.
Maybe.
But it depends on whether it was a big, you know, because you think about what happened to Joel. Oh, it was all just it was all self-defense.
I still go back to when we see Sarah the day after the murder, she genuinely seemed surprised to hear that Theo had been murdered.
Maybe
if we rewatch that scene, and I don't think that Sarah Louise is that good an actress, I'm not talking about Tina here, but I don't think that Sarah would be able to go, oh my God, what, really? He's been...
Maybe Sarah...
She knew if she was involved in it.
Maybe Sarah forgot because she got hit on the head. And it wasn't until she started to work it out and she's had a conversation we haven't seen with Gary.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And Gary's had to reveal to her, no, you and I killed Theo.
Yeah, that could work.
But what happens... So what could have happened is that someone's gone in to see Theo, gone out again. Tyrone saw her after crushing Carl. Ronnie's driven off with Carl. And then Gary goes around there, maybe. But what? Gary goes around there to get Todd's phone. But Todd's been running around. He's somewhere else. Gary goes around there to get Todd's phone back because he wants to delete the footage. Or maybe he just goes around there to confront him. Because he said he was going to go and get him, didn't he?
Yeah. So
he's gone around there to have a go at him.
Well, he could actually delete the footage of him going there. Because he could
From the Ring camera.
Yeah. I mean, and it's not necessarily that it would turn up on other devices. Because if he deleted it off the cloud, which is where it was stored...
Right, so let me finish.
But then the police would maybe notice that there was missing footage. I don't know.
Let me finish. So he goes around there to have it out with Theo. Theo and he have a fight. Sarah hears the commotion and comes in, and maybe hits. This is when she hits Theo with the pole, and kills him to save Gary. And then they push him over the side to make it look like he's fallen by accident. Gary grabs the phone to delete the stuff, throws it in the skip because he knows he's not going to be on the CCTV because he's already deleted.
Well, actually, he couldn't get in to do that anyway because he wouldn't know Todd's password to get into his phone to delete the footage.
Who's got the phone then?
Yeah, certainly it could still be him, but the phone was off.
Why did he take the phone then?
Taking the SIM card out.
Why? Get rid of that doesn't get rid of text messages.
It does in Weatherfield, doesn't it? Let's be honest.
And then Sarah goes into the Platt's house and gets bonked on the head by Jodie, forgets what happened. But why did she go in there in the first place? I don't remember why she went in there. Do you?
No, I don't remember now. I do not remember at all. That's what Corey's relying on. That you've got bad memory and unreliable podcasters.
And we're stupid.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what's happened, everybody. It wasn't Miles, it was Gary and Sarah.
If we literally don't see Miles again, I'll just be forever waiting.
I know, you're like a little you're like Hachiko waiting at the station, Shibuya.
Yeah.
For your master to come home.
I just want at this point Coronation Street to have something out there to say, by the way, Miles was blah blah blah, just to confirm that it wasn't him. Just to put me out my misery.
Michael.
I'll tell you what, I will be triumphantly crowing if it is revealed to be him.
But if the longer it goes without a sniff of him, the more ridiculous it's going to be if it is him. I don't think it is him anymore.
But I think Corey can do that.
They
can leave things until the last minute and do a bit of a Deus Ex Machina. Oh, it was Miles.
I didn't say it would. I said it would be ridiculous. I didn't say that they wouldn't do it.
Cue the Coronation Street social media tweet saying, "Who saw this coming?"
Well, this is what we do all the time, though. We make stuff up they haven't done, and then say Coronation Street's so dumb.
I know.
I can't believe it. That. And then it's like we're not though. But you just made it up in your head and got mad about it. But guess what?
What?
That's modern life, isn't it? Getting mad about things that haven't happened.
It is.
So Bethany's having her boring party.
I think we've done all of this.
Oh yeah.
Sarah decides to go
upset.
home.
She goes home and she has a nap on the sofa, and Kit finds her and wakes her up.
She has a nap on the sofa. Harry comes in with his tin of beans, puts them in the microwave, blows up the place. Or am I forgetting? I remember another story there. Kit tells Sarah that Brady was arrested, and she's trying to get some more information about it, and he's like, I can't possibly tell you, but I will say
We found it in a skip.
I kind of got from the performance there that Sarah was acting a bit like
suspicious.
I need you to tell me more.
I need to know about this investigation.
Not just casual.
To find out what you got on me.
Yeah, girlfriend, how was your day at work today, darling? It was what have you got on me? We found this
Todd's phone in a skip outside the builder's yard, and Sarah nods, and then she says, "Would Maria lie for Gary?" "You wouldn't lie for me." And Kit says, "Well, I have done." Now, this might be a clue as to how Gary and Sarah are going to get away with it if it was them, that Kit is going to cover up for them.
Yeah, I wonder whether off-screen has Kit got some evidence that might implicate Sarah and Gary.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Already deleted it.
That's a really good point. But what's going to happen to get Summer out of prison? Can you imagine if poor Summer just ends up a scapegoat for this and nobody remembers that she's in prison apart from...
That's not going to happen.
Apart from Harriet Bibby.
She's going to be alright.
So, in the pub, Maria tells Gary that Sarah seems off recently, and he says, with everything that's gone on with her, I'm not surprised.
Again, just being a little bit more defensive than maybe you would be. Semi-interesting.
I got more interested discussing it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not watching this properly.
Right, let's blast through the last few storylines. Even though this has been a 4-episode week, it still seems like we've been talking a long time about it.
It's because we're trying to solve a murder, Michael.
I was surprised how little Idris we saw this week. He was kind of there a little bit, but he didn't have loads to do, did he? He was basically spending the week trying to get Barlow's solicitors to hire him.
To take him on as a client.
Sorry, to take him on as a client. Sorry, yeah, and then didn't manage
He's like, I'm a property developer. I've got so many boundary disputes. You'll never run out of business.
And yeah, he's just kind of getting a bit more kissy and getting
flirty
close
with
and
Leanne,
flirty to Leanne,
who's been playing
Yeah.
I Just Had Sex by the Lonely Island on her phone at every available opportunity and smirking to herself.
And Alia's taking every opportunity to remind Leanne that Idris is a bit of a wrong-un.
What is it that he's done? It feels to me as though it's more than just being a cad. The way she's talking about it is like it's like he's a serial killer.
No, I think I think that she's only saying that he's a bit of a...
She's so tedious, isn't she?
Bit too much of a ladies' man, bit too much of a player. Although, why does she care that much about Leanne? I thought that
shut up. It's like you're a child snatcher, Alia. Let's not point fingers.
Tuesday was when we had that rare scene of Rita with Idris on the bench, but all that is him explaining who he is, really. And
he says he's Alia's cousin, which is
not completely true. And then Rita ends up in the pub with Leanne later saying, "Oh, that Idris, isn't he a lovely guy? You look gorgeous together."
I can never imagine ever saying that to anybody.
That was kind of that.
Who cares what you look like together?
That was kind of that. Brody, I kind of lumped this in as well. He's ordering this massive meal at Speed Dial, isn't he? Because he's very flush now. He's working for Idris, and Leanne's watching on quizzically, going, what kind of dodgy dealings is Idris up to that his newly employed lackey can splurge out on our top tier meal at Speed Dial?
Top tier breakfast, that was.
It was a breakfast, wasn't it? You're right.
I want to know more about what this breakfast involves.
So Idris comes in and Leanne says, Are you a wrong un? Just checking. No, I'm not, he says. Everything's kosher here. Definitely on the level.
I would have said that everything's halal.
Everything's halal with me.
I've never heard anybody. Maybe we need to start using that instead of kosher.
And that's it. That's literally all Idris does this week, doesn't it? Which is quite nice for me.
Sorry, we're not taking you on as a client for Barlow Legal Services. But
Yeah.
why? Who cares? It doesn't matter either way, does it? Who cares?
I think I'm probably at the same level of interest and liking with Idris as I was a week ago, which is I like him more than in the first episode, but he's still he's just kind of like grubby and smarmy and very, very suave and handsome, and I just don't like people like that. I'm afraid.
It's not a nice boy, is he?
He's not a nice boy.
I bet he doesn't even play Nintendo. I bet he only does like...
I bet he's a PlayStation
He's got
guy.
PlayStation 5 and he's waiting for Grand Theft Auto 6 to come out.
Yeah.
What a man.
Can you play a lawyer in that? Because
you can probably kill a lawyer.
You'd never be short of business, would you?
You can kill a lawyer for sure. Dementia storyline.
Debbie. Couple of scenes on Wednesday's
really,
episode.
The only thing that
stuff.
happens is that we get to see a symptom, don't we? Where Glenda and Debbie are having a laugh, talking about, and then Debbie gets real and says, "Can you take over the dementia choir for me when I'm gone?" And Glenda says, well, I don't want to think about that.
Glenda says, I thought you ditched them after your wedding, and that was
you
the
still
only
hanging
reason.
out with those losers. And Debbie says, I don't understand why Debbie thinks that Glenda should be in charge when there already is a woman in charge of the dementia choir.
Debbie
and also
just came in and ousted her, didn't she?
Glenda doesn't have dementia, so I don't know that it's really a good plan. Anyway, she says fine.
Fake it until you make it.
And then later on, she says to her, can you come and take over the choir for me again? And Glenda's face falls as she realises that Debbie's forgotten that she's just asked her this.
There was some
the acting from Jodie Prenger there was just wonderful because her face falls and she's trying to hide it. And also, of course, Sue Devaney is delightful as
she was
ever.
super. I really enjoyed her when she says, if you start to take the choir in the direction that I don't like, bad taste or whatever, my ghost's going to come and haunt you. And watch out, she's feisty and she's just like, oh, isn't she? I also like the bit.
They're talking about what music they hate and who should sing what.
I like the bit where she gets given the cake and there's almost like a cake eye view looking up at Debbie as she's going, oh, a little bit of what you fancy. Oh. And it's just a really kind of natural and lovely Debbie-ish dialogue.
I wish I loved life as much as Debbie does.
Yeah.
It's so hard.
I
noticed that she only really liked it now. She says now she's going to die.
Joyous moment.
Because a few years ago she was pretending to murder people and getting locked in freezers.
I wonder whether we're going to see more Debbie. I mean, that was Wednesday, wasn't it? And sometimes when they put a story in towards the end of the week, it means, watch out, that's going to be an A story for next week. And the fact that they didn't appear on Thursday, maybe it was just something to balance out the drama of missing son and everything that was going on with Daniel. But whatever the reason, I very much appreciated it. And if it does lead to more Debbie stuff next week, I'm all there for it. I'm still waiting for her to dye her hair pink.
Yeah, me too. Maybe that will happen next week.
Maybe.
It feels like it's around that time.
Was it 8 weeks ago that we went to Coronation Street? I'm going to say probably.
Yeah, I think it's around.
It was at the end of the Easter holidays, wasn't it?
I think we're getting close to Debbie dies.
Thank you. I think that was 7 weeks ago we were there. So it must be.
There you go. Well, I think I'm also intrigued as to whether this Sunday episode is considered part of this week or next week.
Who knows? It doesn't matter. I think
it doesn't matter.
It's just Friday's replacement.
The story,
I'm going to say this
rhythm,
week.
It doesn't matter to me.
I would say that it mattered, but we're still having people talking on Monday episodes about things that happened yesterday, even though they could really easily not have that happen. They're just doing it to spite me at this point. So Sunday, I think it will probably be Friday in Weatherfield.
Oh, we haven't said that all the England flags are up.
Oh yeah, they did. They put those up on Thursday's episode, didn't they?
Because it's coming home.
Yes,
now, I thought it was very interesting that the Driscolls had the England flags up in their pub, because if I know
they
anything...
had the England flag and the Scotland flag.
I was going to say, if I know anything about... the rest of the countries that make up the United Kingdom, they would love to support Scotland over England for sure. Wales and Northern Ireland are all rooting for Scotland in this tournament, and even when Scotland maybe even if they get knocked out before the final, they will still never ever want us to win a match. And if we get to the end, they'll be rooting for whoever is in the final.
I think
against
Ben
us.
Doesn't even care because the ball is just too round for him.
Exactly. It's not really a main sport, so I don't mind.
We had two scenes with Sam on Thursday's episode. The first of which was, it started off as a hope scene, didn't it? Because Fizz is saying, "Oh, what are you doing running off to school? Why don't you wait for Sam?" And she's like, "No, I'm not interested in Sam anymore." And Fizz is obviously, as we remember, a little bit worried about her blossoming friendship / romance with Will, which I still think is fairly one-sided, although we didn't actually see any of Will this week, so I don't know, maybe is it all in Hope's head? I'm not sure. But Sam comes along and Fizz says, "Oh, you should come around for your tea tonight because maybe we can get back that bit of friendship that you used to have with Hope." So he goes round. That's horrible, wasn't it? I didn't know whether... I don't think it was Sam just arriving, but however it was, he was in the hall at number 9.
Been a little snot with Fizz.
Yeah, Hope is being a cow, saying, "Oh, what, you didn't even need to arrange this play date for me. I should be able to choose who I'm friends with," which is true, to be honest. It's a little bit embarrassing for...
It's a bit weird.
For a 15-year-old. And she's saying, "I don't even like him, he's weird," and then she barges past him and goes upstairs. Poor old Sam at this point. But when he goes into the lounge, of course, Malroy is there telling him that Fizz knows how dangerous Will is. She's right. The question is, Sam, what are you going to do about him? And Sam's like, oh, did you hear that? Did you see all that? No. So Sam, again, he's not quite twigged yet, even though the clues are all there, Sam, that's not actually Roy, has he? He doesn't think he's got a secret
that
big
part of the symptoms of having this means that you're not in your right mind to know whether it makes any sense.
It's like it when you're in a dream and there's something that's clearly crazy happening. Yeah. Your dream reckoning is like, well, of course this makes sense. Why this is happening. So I guess it's a little bit.
If it was
like
that easy, then people wouldn't have delusions, would they?
So I am all for Evil Roy coming back, and Sam, because it's been a tough 3 weeks for me on Coronation Street, and I think the missing piece is the Sam and Roy and grooming storyline, which has been a little bit more on the lowdown. So I'm hoping that his apparition on yesterday's episodes means we'll be able to see a whole lot more of him in the coming week. I am going to give this week's Coronation Street... I can't think what I'm scoring out of at all this week. I'm going to give it 3 this week. I'm going to give it 3 exploding metal tins in the microwave out of 5. And my character of the week's Daniel, clearly.
Okay.
From both the character and actor point of view.
My character of the week is Daniel as well, because when he goes off on one, he is incredibly exciting to watch.
But for pure little micro doses of brilliance, shout out to Sally, Glenda, Debbie, and of course Evil Roy at the end.
And D.I. Thompson.
What are you scoring it?
I'm going to give this 3.5 because I think I teased a bit more out of it than I got when I watched it by talking to you about the murder case.
Glad to assist.
I don't know if it's just being stupid or not paying attention, or if it genuinely is a bit confusing. But yeah, I'll give it 3.5 pairs of leather gloves that probably was left behind by Richard Hillman that Gary may have possibly used to hide his fingerprints.
See, the thing is, when we see the footage of Gary coming out of Sally and Tim's house, he is not wearing leather gloves, because I went back and watched that, and even though it's very blurry what we see, there's definitely some pink fingers swinging by his side there.
Oh yeah.
But maybe he puts them on later.
I mean, you could take the phone out with your bare hands and then wipe it.
You can take the phone out of the flat, but you can't take the flat out of the phone.
Do you know what also makes me laugh? If it is true that they did kill Theo and covered it up, I just love the idea that they saw this bloody brooch on the floor and went, that's going to help us. Leave that there.
Yeah. Just push it a little bit more into a more obvious place there so somebody will spot it.
Was it... Whose blood was on there? Theo's blood was on there?
Yes.
So they must have... Somebody killed Theo with that brooch on the floor and left it there.
No, I thought it was from when George punched Theo. He had a bloody nose or something, and then that blood got on the brooch.
How would that happen?
That would mean that the blood would have to be flowing for quite a while, wouldn't it?
Well, it still means that Theo dropped... I mean, it doesn't... It wouldn't be weird that the murder happened and blood got on the brooch from Theo.
I can't remember. I'm sure that if you wanted to, you could piece through every single clue that there's been in the episode. It's
almost
for the
like
past
we should really be
6
doing
weeks. That. But we probably should, but don't have the time or inclination at the moment. If someone wants to
just much rather get cross about stuff we don't understand.
Well, we're so quite, we will sometimes do episodes, bonus episodes on, so here's all our clues, what do we think? And this one's just not grabbed me enough to make me want to do it.
An end date for this, we would have done it. We would do that because we'd know we need to gear this up for something that's going to happen. But I've got no idea.
Well, maybe we can give it a few weeks and then do something like that. I don't know.
There might be some spoilers that some people might know, but it might be too early to know.
I think Kate Brooks has said when it's going to be. So lots of people do have an idea, a rough idea.
Well, maybe we should find out then. Be more responsible.
But
podcast owners.
It feels like there's so many red herrings and dead end paths that were being led down. And in my head, the fact that Miles is my prime suspect, but there's not been a single clue.
Stop it now.
About why it's him.
It's not him. It'd be bad if it was him.
Not putting it past them. That's it for Street Talk this week, Gemma.
Don't forget, if you're listening on YouTube, you can listen to the rest of the podcast.
Oh, yes, you
in
can.
audio format by searching for Conversation Street on any podcast app. And also, don't forget, Soap Week is coming up on between the 6th and the 12th of July. We have a fundraiser for Debbie's, for Dementia UK. We're doing a walk on the 11th of July. You can join us or you can donate. There's going to be there are links if you find our social media accounts and stuff. I'd really appreciate if you would like to donate money to help raise money for Dementia UK.
Nice sneaking it in now before the YouTube listeners get to the end.
www.soap-week.com.
Yeah.
Or just search Soap Week because it's so famous now.